So February marks 6 months since I've started posting weekly on YouTube. And I've learned a lot in the process. The first thing I learned is that what I have to say is worth sharing. So I've had kind of an interesting journey as I've learned to share my experiences with other people. So when I was growing up, I always thought that I needed to contribute and it was kind of my duty to talk and to keep the conversation going and to make comments. And then I got married to somebody who is not like that at all. So he doesn't draw attention to himself and he rarely adds things to the conversation. And when he does, it carries a lot of weight because it's so rare that he's gonna speak up and say something. And I really admired that. And I found that was something that I wanted to try and emulate because I really felt like that's a problem that a lot of people have is they talk too much and they don't listen enough. And so I grew quieter. But then I felt like I should start this YouTube channel. And all of a sudden, I started sharing my thoughts every single week about things that I thought about. And it kind of swung the pendulum back to being willing to share and say things. But it's really cool because I came from this place of being quiet and not saying things, that now I feel like I've kind of landed in this middle place where I feel like I have things worth saying, and also I value listening and I value quiet. And so I feel like I'm in a good spot now, a more balanced place than I was when I was not saying anything and also when I was making a lot of contributions. Because I realized that I have things to say. I have different opinions than other people. In all honesty, I think different than a lot of people. And before I would just keep those to myself, and I've started to realize the value in sharing those things with other people. And it's given me confidence. I'm really proud of how confident I've become and how willing I am to speak up, whereas before it was actually something that kind of scared me and I didn't really want to do it. And that leads me to the second lesson I learned on YouTube, which is that everyone can contribute. And this is what I love about YouTube. You don't have to be especially good looking. You don't have to have a really nice house. You don't have to be a super genius. You don't have to be really good at editing and make super fancy videos. Just the thing that I learned from YouTube is that everyone has things that are worth sharing with other people. And what connects you to other people is how they can help you. And it's less about how they look or how cool they are or something like that. And I really love that about YouTube. I love it being a place where it doesn't really matter who you are, it just matters what you're sharing with other people. I've also definitely gotten so much better at videoing and editing and trying to talk to a camera. I still have a lot to learn, but it's so awesome because 6 months ago, I didn't know any of this stuff. And all the back end stuff of YouTube just totally terrified me and it kind of kept me from moving forward. And now I feel like I can basically do all of the things it takes to make a YouTube video. I still have a lot to learn about getting better on camera and making more engaging content, making better thumbnails and titles, all of those things. But I'm just really proud of myself for pushing past all of these things that seemed hard and that I'm able to do it now. I also have learned a ton about how YouTube works. I have been a YouTube consumer for a long time, but I have definitely been a very passive consumer. I never like anything, I rarely subscribe to things, and I've learned a lot since starting my own YouTube channel. First of all, the person who's making the video has no idea who's subscribing to their channel. It doesn't give them any kind of information about who the people are. I also have no idea about who likes videos. It's so different than other social medias where you get notifications about somebody liked this or somebody is following you or something like that. Other than the number, you have no idea who the people are. The other thing that I learned is that there's all these different kind of layers that help YouTube decide if your video is worth showing to other people. First of all is if somebody clicks on your video. So if the thumbnail is interesting enough, then somebody will click on your video. And then of course there's watch time. So how long somebody watches a video is going to impact whether YouTube shows it to other people. And then there's likes and comments. It's really interesting where you can have low views of people actually watching your video, but if a lot of people are commenting, a lot of people are liking it, then YouTube sees that the video is valuable and will push it out to more people. So it's changed my behavior on YouTube. I'm way more free with my likes. I'm way more free subscribing as well. Because I feel like it helps the person out. And even if down the road you eventually decide that maybe it's not something that's useful to you, it's helpful at the moment to say, hey, this content is valuable. And I want to send them a signal that I see that their content is helpful to me. And I'm getting better at even commenting on strangers' videos. I've just seen how helpful it is, and so I want to give it to other people as well. One thing that I wish I would have known at the very beginning is just how important it is to just keep filming yourself. When you first start out, you just want to create these perfect videos that can go viral and that have everything right about them. But I have just realized that in the beginning, you just need to get better at being in front of the camera and not worry too much about if your video is perfect or anything like that. Because the cool thing is when you're starting out is nobody's actually watching, so it's really easy to just get a lot of repetitions in and just get better and better. And you don't have all these eyes on you and you don't feel all this stress and pressure. And then by the time people actually start watching, you will have been able to get more presence and it'll be a lot more natural for you because you've been practicing so much. And lastly, I just want to talk about how different it is to run a YouTube channel when you feel like it's something that God has called you to do. I feel like I'm a very reluctant YouTuber. In general, I just don't really like social media, and I don't like putting myself out there. And any time in the past when maybe I felt like I want to have a larger presence online, the thing that's always stopped me is how much I do not like social media. But it's really different when you're praying in the morning, asking the Lord what He wants you to do that day, and the answer is create content. You just kind of have to put your opinions aside and say, okay. It's really interesting because it's different than a lot of small YouTubers. A lot of small YouTubers have this goal where they want to get 100,000 subscribers or they've always wanted to start a YouTube channel. But it's really freeing to just feel like, I'm just doing this because this is what the Lord wants me to do. And I'm definitely still trying to grow it and all of those things, learn all of these new skills. But it just feels different because it feels like ultimately the Lord is in charge of this channel. And I'm just going to keep continuing to do whatever it is He wants me to do with it. The other thing that I thought was super interesting when I was reflecting back on this journey is what even brought me to this place in the first place. So the thing that catapulted me into creating this YouTube channel was need. So we are in a financial situation where it would make the most sense for me to work. I'm a stay-at-home mom and have been for the past several years. But it just seemed like now that all my kids are in school, now would be a great time for me to start working full time. And I kept praying about it and praying about it. And the answer was start a YouTube channel. Spend more time on YouTube. And before I was posting recreationally just for fun, just to try something new and to share with my family. But because it was the answer to the prayer of what I should do for work, I just treated it so much differently than I would if this were just a hobby. I'm actively trying to grow it. I'm trying to get better at it. I sacrifice and make time to make it so that these videos happen. And it does take a lot of time. I work on it every weekday. Coming up with ideas, that's the super easy part. But then there's researching topics, writing outlines, filming videos, editing videos, coming up with titles and thumbnails. That is the very hardest part of YouTube. And then trying to figure out stuff to post on social media, creating social media posts. All of that takes up a ton of time. And I feel like it's a sacrifice that the Lord wants me to make. So what does the future look like for this channel, for me? I'm going to keep trying to grow this channel. I'm going to keep trying to learn new things and learn how to make it more engaging. And I'm going to keep trying to make better content. And if you find any of this information helpful, please share it with a friend. And comment and subscribe. All of that stuff sends signals to YouTube that this stuff is worth watching. And therefore, in turn, pushes it out to more people. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you've been with me since the beginning 6 months ago, I'm so glad you've stuck around. And there's a lot more you can expect from me. So be sure to subscribe and like and comment, share with others. I'm always trying to help you. I'm trying to help you with self-improvement, help you and your families, help all of us be the best version of ourselves so that we can make the world a better place. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time.